In this video, we are doing what we refer to as the
DoorDash dates.
DoorDash date. What is a DoorDash date?
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to DoorDash for, I guess like a couple hours probably, like before dinner. I don't know. But we're going to DoorDash for like a couple hours, and whatever we make on DoorDash tonight, we have to spend on a date. So, yeah.
Which technically will amount to food.
Yeah, pretty much. Because we're hungry.
Because really,
getting hungry.
what it's looking like our date is going to be tonight is getting food and you forcing me to watch When Calls the Heart.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So,
comment down below if you like When Calls the Heart.
You don't have to do that. So yeah, we're going to kind of keep track of what we make, and it's going to be fun.
So we just got in our first order. Where is it to?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. How much?
Large chicken.
How much?
$9.25.
$9.25.
Potentially. Could be more.
Could be more than that.
So it's a good start, honestly.
So far,
it's not a super far thing. I used to DoorDash full time years ago. I was I like, that's all I did. Like when I was a bachelor, I would literally DoorDash like all day, every day. And that was like all I did for work for about 2 years. So honestly, during 2020, during COVID, it was actually kind of awesome because you know, we basically just always got plenty of orders, and you know, it was not an issue, it was a problem. And I never slowed down really, because especially that time.
Probably sped up in that time because people didn't want to go out.
And also nobody was driving around at that time, so it was so much easier because there was zero traffic. So it was kind of like a pretty sweet spot. I mean, it was not a good time,
awesome.
Obviously. I mean, you know, obviously it was a horrible time in the country.
Right.
But you know, just to look on the bright side of things, you know, it was actually, the Lord really, you know, took care of me in that time. But I don't really do that anymore, except when we just have times like this. It's just kind of fun, and then we also don't like have to figure out how to work it into our budget to go have a fun date night, because we just go DoorDash for 2 hours and, you know, spend a little bit of gas, but you know, make 40 bucks and go, you know, or 50 bucks or whatever, and then go have a date night. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. So we'll update you when we get.
This video is not sponsored by DoorDash, by the way.
It isn't, no. That'd be
Obviously,
cool though.
We don't, I don't think DoorDash would care to have this.
Hey, maybe someday.
Yeah, well, maybe. So, baby, when did you first know that you had? When did you first have like the tiniest inkling that you had a crush on me?
Oh man, I think technically, my brother called it first, Charlie. I didn't really like have a crush on him, but the first time that I maybe had a little bit of an inkling of something was when I was doing kids lessons and Ben was videoing them. So this was a little bit before we started talking, but I remember noticing him a lot. And I think that in that week when I was like filming a lot like with him, and we didn't talk or anything, but just in that week I went home and I talked about him a lot, and I was like, oh, like I love like what he posts about, like, and stuff like that. And so I think that was probably the first time where I maybe kind of did. But then again, I was like, it didn't go any farther than that, because I was like, oh, you know, he's older than me, like, you know, I just didn't really think any further than that. But that was probably the first time I had like a little inkling of something, because I thought he was cute and I liked, well, yeah, you know what I mean.
So when did you know that you knew that you
When did
had
I
a crush
know?
on me?
Probably like after you started talking to me, like after you reached out to me, and then but at first, because so he's reached out to me on Instagram, he slid into the DMs is what he did.
Well, let's qualify that, because that can be misinterpreted, what it means to slide into the DMs.
Slide.
I wasn't like, hey, what's up, how's it going?
What's
like,
up, girl?
You know, let me get that number. Like, I wasn't like that. I was like, hey, like, I'm concerned about you because you're going through some things, and like, how are you, and how are you?
No, yeah, it was very sweet. And so, but those first couple days, so we talked over social media for just like, I mean, less than a week, which was really good. I'm glad we didn't, because I'm glad we didn't just like talk and never see each other. So he reached out to me and we talked a little bit over the phone, and then he came up to me at church and asked me for coffee. I think probably our coffee date was when, because those like first couple days when you were talking to me, I just thought you were talking to me as just like, oh, like a friend and checking up on me and like wanted to be friends and like, you know, like a little sister type of thing. Like I didn't think, you know, you had a crush on me or anything like that. But when we were on our date and I knew it was a date, and then I was like, oh, like, I realized.
So yeah, the first time I knew that I liked you was honestly the day was on your birthday, which was, so we haven't told this part of our story yet, pretty much I didn't really pay any attention to Grace until her 18th birthday, which is obviously important, but we are actually 10 years apart, and originally I did not think I would even consider dating somebody 10 years younger than me. I probably wouldn't have even dated somebody 6 years younger than me. I was actually very like, no, I would never do that. But obviously the rules changed when Grace turned 18. Because the day she turned 18, and I saw that, and
the camera did not fall. That did not represent the story well.
That's pretty much what happened on the inside of me when I saw her picture. I mean, my heart just kind of, you know, I fell for her, you know, kind of like the phone fell just now. Yeah, so I honestly, like, I didn't even have time to have a crush on you. Pretty much like the day that I saw that picture of you on your birthday and like saw that you were an adult, and I just, in my heart, I just kind of knew like I was going to marry you. Now, I didn't tell her that. I didn't like announce that to her. I didn't express that to her for a long time after we had started talking, after we had become friends and started talking. But yeah, so that was the first time for me.
We're still on our way to bring the Chick-fil-A.
We recently saw the movie Inside Out 2. What was your thoughts on that movie? What was your
You know, I think honestly, I think we have the same opinion on it. Like both of the Inside Out movies, like obviously there's like, you know, I don't know who it was made by, but there's little things that you could say about it, like, oh, you know, fear. They call fear an emotion in the movie. You know, fear, the Bible calls fear a spirit of fear. So there's little things like that I'm like, okay, you know, there's technically that's not right, and I would change that. But I think like the overall like message of the movie, especially the new one that we just watched, it was all about, it really like showed how bad anxiety was, which I actually personally really like that. Even when the anxiety like character first came on, like they made her, she looks very crazy, and basically like it just, I don't want to give too much away, but like they just did a really good job showing that wasn't good. There's one part actually towards the end where Joy comes in, and because anxiety's trying to take over and take over Riley, and she has a hold of the control system, and Joy comes up and she's like, you can't control her, you have to let go. So I thought there was definitely like some good like stuff in it, and I think like at the end it kind of gives the effect that like, oh, which is what a lot of people believe, that you have to manage anxiety, and we know from the Bible that we don't have to just live with anxiety and learn how to manage it. You know, we can get rid of it. You know, through Him we're able to completely overcome and conquer anxiety, not have to put up with it anymore. And so, but I thought it was really cute. I don't think the message of it was bad, and I enjoyed it. It was funny.
God has emotions. I know that God has emotions. The Bible talks about that. That's and true. I think we could look at a lot of things and say, hey, if God has this emotion, then that means we also have it because we're made in His image. And, you know, I don't think any of us are meant to always just have one emotion. And there's a difference between expressing emotion and walking in the fruit of the Spirit. They're not the same thing. And really, you know, you can get into a whole thing about what's an emotion, what's a fruit of the Spirit, but really the fruit of the Spirit is supposed to dominate our emotions.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we don't have those emotions. What I really liked about the movie is that it showed the negative effect of bottling things up, and how when you try to just stuff stuff down and bottle it up and act like it's not there, eventually it's just all going to come back up with a vengeance, kind of. Oh, there's an ambulance.
Oh no.
Even with that, like it's kind of just, you know, I think of the scripture where Jesus said, told the Pharisees, you clean the outside of the cup, but you leave the inside filthy. And I think a lot of times what you know, people are doing, wow, that she wasn't supposed to do that. That's all right, we agree. You know, a lot of times, you know, like I guess religion tries to, tell people to like put on a certain face or a certain attitude on the outside. And there's a time to get a hold of your emotions and say, hey, we're not going to yield to this. But at the same time, when there's like deep wounds and things like that, a lot of times that needs to be cleaned out. I think about how David said, create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. And the Bible talks about being purged from the inside out. And so I think that's just something that I think about, that I think it did show that well, like the negative effects of like stuffing things down and bottling up emotions, where Jesus wants to restore our soul. He wants to clean the inside of the cup and get those things out of us so that the outside can be clean too.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, the reason why our joy gets choked by weeds, so to speak, is because you instead of just cutting the leaves, you got to pull the weeds up by the root. When you have a garden full of good things, if you don't deal with the weeds, if you don't pull them up by the root, they're going to choke those good fruits. And so I think that's what happens with joy a lot, is that we don't we get choked because of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so anyway, I thought there were some good things in it, and we enjoyed going.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yep.
So we just got another DoorDash from Paschetti's.
And then also like the initial amount is like $21.50, so that's a pretty big order.
Yeah.
But we do have to drive pretty far out to deliver it.
Okay.
So, but hey, that's kind of the whole point of this. But I mean, honestly, we could call it a night after that if we wanted to, and still go get a decent little dinner somewhere.
We just dropped off that order.
And so far we made $30 in 1 hour.
Yay!
So that's
good.
That's a pretty good hour.
Oh yeah.
So
it's not bad.
And we didn't have to drive too far, a little bit of a trip, but not awful. We're having fun,
we drive out this far,
hanging out. So honestly, we could call it and just get some, go get some ramen or something like that. Get some Asian food. $30. You can make that go pretty far.
But we'll see if by the time we get into town if
we may or may not
orders.
continue.
I think we're about done with DoorDashing tonight, so we are on our way to get some food. I think we decided on Asian food.
Our favorite Asian place. Yeah, we labored for a whole hour.
It's hard.
But here's the thing: if we want to enjoy the date part of it, we can't dash too late.
Right. But maybe soon we can do this again and do it a little bit longer.
Want to enjoy the date? Can't dash too late.
We'll update you in a second. We just got our food. Oh, that's heavier than I thought. We just got our food.
I like how we just delivered food so that we could go get food
for
ourselves.
It's fine. It's literally
life's a trade,
Yeah, it's fine.
Life's a trade.
But anyway, we're going to go home, and Ben just said, say it on camera, babe. What did you tell me just now?
I told her that because I love her, I'm going to sit down and watch more than one episode of When Calls the Heart, even though it'll be incredibly painful, and even though I won't enjoy it at all, I'm just gonna lay myself down for my wife.
I will say it is pretty cheesy, but I mean, we've watched really all of our shows several times, so at least it's something new. At least it's something that you don't know what's gonna happen.
I know.
Even though I've told you that maybe that's happening.
It's Hallmark. I know it's gonna happen.
Also, we just watched the most recent season, the last episode, and we're watching back in season 2. And so cute. I'm so cute. I'm so little. Okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah.
Like and subscribe if you want to.
If you want to.
If you don't.
And we can make more of these videos too. I like these.
I like the little glare of the sun. That's kind of nice.
Anyway, bye.